Overwatch 2 is officially dead, and Overwatch has now taken its place. The Spotlight just wrapped up about an hour ago, and this is a very big update for Overwatch and the exact kind of momentum it needs in order to stay competitive in the shooter scene. We are getting 10 new heroes this year instead of the standard 4. 5 of them are releasing next Tuesday, and then the other 5 will be released throughout the year. I'm just going to quickly summarize the heroes. If you want to see all the heroes, I recommend watching the Overwatch Spotlight itself. They dive into all the hero abilities. First, you have the new tank, Domina, who has a commando type blast, where if you see in Battlefront 2 and you play as commando, you could like knock people down. She has one of those kind of abilities. She's got a hard light shield that can be broken in sections, and she has the longest beam weapon in the game. Next is Emre, who is basically like a Soldier 76, but even more so in the soldier archetype, like Call of Duty type. He has a burst rifle with a scope that you could aim. He has a sidearm. He has a frag. He's basically Soldier 76 too. And then his ult is like a mini Alari ult, but it's way more mobile and lasting longer. Next, you have Mizuke, who I think he has an interesting design. He's got like a soft stun. He has aura healing and he can chain heal. Then you have Amran, who looks like she's going to be a Kiriko too. Am I saying that because she's an attractive Asian female? Yes, I am. She's very mobile. I think her design is still a little bit boring, and she has a self-res, and her hero trial starts tomorrow. And then my favorite, Jetpack Cat, who can both pick up enemies and allies. I didn't really see that much more of the Jetpack Cat's kit, but it will be interesting to see how she plays out. I think Amran and Imre are the most boring designed heroes. I feel like they're kind of just very generic. Domina, I think, is my favorite. Mizuke, I could appreciate the design for him. I don't really think it's my thing, but I appreciate that it is different and it is unique. And then Jetpack Cat, it's a cat with a jetpack. That is awesome. And now sub-roles are back. From Overwatch 1, when it first launched, each sub-role has its own unique passive, and it adds just another layer of gameplay. They really didn't mention that much about perks in the stream, and Stadium is now a very low priority for them. I'm actually very worried that we're going to get all the heroes in Stadium. I don't think we're going to get them all. We're getting 1 hero a season, and if there's only 4 or 5 seasons, we still have 8. I think we still have like 13 heroes that need it. And now with the 10 new heroes, we have a ton of heroes that are going to need to be added to Stadium. We're not going to get them all, at least not this year. They are adding a new hero builder system inside of Stadium, which seems like it's just taking popular builds and incorporating them into your gameplay. They really wanted to focus on newer players, so I guess that's nice for people that need it, but really doesn't change anything about Stadium. Post-match player voting is back. It is now 3D models instead of the postcards that we're used to, and there's also a in-game faction event where you can choose between Overwatch and Talon, but you could continue to pick sides every week, and I think you could switch midweek too, so your choice really doesn't matter that much. And now each season will tell a story, so I feel like it's going to be similar to like how Call of Duty has a story that spans between all the seasons, and then it wraps up after the year, and each year is going to be a new story. I think this is the best way to tell the in-game story. They're not going to do a dedicated PvE mode, which is dead, so stop wishing for it because it's not going to happen. Lastly, they have a new UI. It's a Fortnite UI, Marvel Rivals UI, Call of Duty UI. Overwatch for the longest time had a unique UI, and it's just moving into the Fortnite slop. This one really bothered me. I really hate this new UI. I liked Overwatch's old UI. I want it back. I hate all these new UIs. They are so ugly and uninspired. Loot boxes are getting refreshed. There's going to be 2 mythic skins per season. They mentioned a Lari mythic skin, so I am thrilled. It's not this season though. This season they have another Mercy skin, a Juno weapon, and a Mei mythic. And we have a Hello Kitty event collab happening when season 1 happens. It is now season 1, and it's not season 20, it's not season 21, it is season 1. I found it funny how Ramatra was featured in the trailer just to be used as a joke and killed off at the end. He wasn't officially killed off. They were playing it for jokes in the trailer, but I like how he didn't even get his skin. He's not getting a skin in the collab, and he's not even mentioned at all throughout the trailer or throughout the spotlight. Gameplay-wise, I'm satisfied enough with what they have. It's a lot of new content. It's going to get people to come back, and ultimately that's what we need. They also mentioned that 2 new maps are coming, but they said nothing about them. Maps are also changing based on the world events happening in-game. So like Watchpoint Gibraltar got attacked, so the map is now changed to reflect that. Now, the cinematic and the story that they're telling right now, I don't think I'm that big of a fan of. Doomfist just kind of got his ass handed to him pretty easily, and then this nobody comes and takes over. 10 years of Doomfist just for him to really do nothing story-wise, and then Ramatra's introduced in Overwatch 2, does nothing story-wise, and now Vendetta comes, and within 2 seasons, she's already the big bad, and she's getting this whole focus. It does leave a sour taste in my mouth. I'm just happy that we are getting more story content, and now Overwatch is now a story-driven game. If you see my video of things I think Overwatch needed, story was one of them. And it will be interesting to see characters defect, Talon, and other characters have stronger ties to Talon because of the takeover. It kind of reminds me of Darth Maul taking over Death Watch in Star Wars, how you had Bo-Katan and her people break off into their own faction, and then you had the Maul loyalist who stayed with Maul through that version of Death Watch. I'm glad they dropped Overwatch 2 and they're just going straight back to Overwatch. I feel like a lot more games need to do that. The unnecessary sequel trend needs to stop, and I'm glad Overwatch is stopping it. What I don't like is how perks were kind of ignored, so I don't think we're getting a big refresh on perks. That was a little bit annoying. Stadium is just found dead with Doomfist, and I just think it's a huge mistake neglecting Stadium like this. Stadium is what makes Overwatch unique, and they're just setting it aside for everything else. I understand that Stadium took a big priority last year, but we need all the heroes in Stadium. I hate that they are ignoring it, and I feel like we might go a few seasons without a Stadium hero, and that really concerns me, especially because my favorite hero, Alari, is not in Stadium. Also, it was funny, a while back they teased new Stadium heroes coming soon, and like Roadhog was one of the images on there, Baptiste was one of the images, and they're not even in Stadium, and they're not on the current roadmap. But like I said, I'm satisfied enough with the update. I think it's good content. I wish there was more maps. I would have sacrificed 5 heroes for 5 maps, but it is what it is. Are you guys satisfied with Overwatch? Do you think this is the proper move on its part? Are you going to come back, or do you just not care about Overwatch anymore? Let me know in the comments down below if you're excited, if you're not, and I will see you guys in the next one.